It's time for AggroChat, the official podcast of the Tales of the Aggronaut blog and stalwart gaming community, where we talk about stuff and things, and the stuff about the things, and sometimes gaming. I'm Belghast, and let's start the show.
Hey folks, it's that time again. Time for another episode of AggroChat. This is episode 570. Tonight I'm joined by Ammo.
Hello.
Ashgar.
Hello.
Kodra.
I'm bent double already.
And Tam.
You do the right thing. Nothing changes in the world.
So last week we talked a bit about Zero Parades, but it seems like you maybe have beaten it a few times at this point.
I have beaten it. Just once, but I have beaten it. And that game is good. Like it sticks the landing.
I was really hoping it would.
I was about to say, do you think it is better than its predecessor in Disco Elysium?
Ooh, boy. So,
because I kind of think about Disco Elysium as having kind of a weird ending.
Disco Elysium definitely has a weird ending. So Disco Elysium is a game. It is a very like kind of navel-gazy sort of game.
Yeah.
Like it does a lot of philosophizing. It does a lot of like thinking about stuff and making you think about stuff and spending a lot of time in the like, what is philosophy really? And how do you decide your philosophy? And what does it mean to be committed to a philosophy? And a bunch of stuff like that. And as a result, it's got a very, it meanders a lot. It has an ending, like, depending on all of the things you do at the end, leading up to the ending, it has some really powerful moments, but it's also got it's just like doing some really weird things.
Mm-hmm.
And you can sort of sit and like mull over it for a good long time afterward, just like what happened in the last 15 minutes. By comparison, Zero Parades is much sharper. It is a much, like, this is absolutely unsurprising if you know the context by which this game was made. It is a really, really angry game. It thematically is about capital sucks, and also your ideological leadership might betray you. And that's a lot. Like, it leans really hard into that. That's its core message. I think it could, like, I think I said last week, I think it could only have been made by this team at this time, and that's why it's got a much clearer through line, and the arc of the story is a lot sharper because you're not spending a lot of time figuring out what it is you're supposed to do or supposed to be doing.
That the directions are way more clear from the start.
Yeah, the not necessarily like the specific things you need to do, but the overall like structure is clearer from the start.
Well, you spend a lot of time with Disco Elysium playing, what the hell is this UI? What am I supposed to do with it? Like,
yeah,
what do these things actually matter?
Yeah. And there's a little bit of that, but it's also like it ferries you along better. There are some places where I thought where I was like, wait, what do I need to do next? But mostly it was either go to places you haven't been or talk to people that you know you need to talk to.
You're a spy, gather intel.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the landing, like, I think it sticks the landing. I don't think it's as necessarily as thinky an ending, but it is a very satisfying, like the whole ending sequence is very satisfying.
Well, I think the big challenge with Disco Elysium is it is a game not about the thing that the game seems like it's going to be about.
Yes. And this is a little bit more, this like hews a little closer to the concept of you're a spy doing spy stuff. There are wildly different ways to complete the game. And choices to make depending on like what kind of spy you're trying to be. And I feel like whereas Disco Elysium's arc ends up with you kind of rationalizing who you are and what you had done previously and how you feel about it, this is like what's important to you and how are you going to uh, act with it. And like it can be brutal. There's an end of this game where just everyone dies.
I mean, the other big thing, from what I understand, it sounds like this is more a game about things that have happened to you, whereas Disco Elysium is very much a game about what you have done.
Yes. And there's a bit of what you have done here, but it's not the main, it's not a constant thrust. It comes in periodically, but you know what you did. You know what happened. It will haunt you, but it's not like you're constantly finding out more about it. And I think that the last time that I played a game with a finale sequence that hit this hard and was just so satisfying to go through was probably Mass Effect 2.
Makes sense because Mass Effect 2 hit real hard.
Yeah, like there's a point, like you hit a point of no return, and everything from the point of no return to credits rolling is a hell of a ride. And it pays off everything I'd done to that point incredibly.
I mean, that's a really good sign of one of these games is when your decisions feel like they mattered all the way down.
Yeah, and they really do. And I went back and replayed just because I was curious. I went back and replayed the end sequence, but made some like critically different decisions that basically, just because I wanted to see, it was like basically left the people who were helping me to twist in the wind. And it's effective, but it feels awful in a way that I like, because they're surprised too, because it's not how I had been acting the entire game. And it was really interesting that the game was like, oh, you're gonna act inconsistently right at the end? Boy, that's gonna sit with these people. But yeah, it was quite good. I'm a little surprised it got past their legal. There are some portrayals of NPCs that I personally would have found a little bit close to the line as far as depicting actual people. This game's a little mad.
Surprise is on you. They couldn't afford a legal team. I don't know that for certain. I'm just throwing that out there.
But yeah, like it is a unique piece of art that I think it is. There's so many times in like growing up in school where we would talk about some famous piece of art and talk about like the circumstances by which it was created and how the creator was feeling and what we knew about that and so forth. And it has taken until now for me to experience a piece of art that makes me go, got it. This is totally recontextualized by what I know about events. This game made by anybody other than the people who made it, I think would not have had the weight and the power that it does. And it's not uncontroversial, and it knows it. And I think that's impressive.
So last week we talked about the death of Destiny, essentially. And mostly it was going into maintenance mode so that, we knew we were going to get a big patch of some sort, but that anything after that fact would be basically static, so that the game is going into like a rotation of events and all that stuff, but it's essentially running itself. This week we got information about the patch, and my God, is this game a tale of a bunch of people who care about the game and a company that wouldn't let them do the things, because there's so many things that are getting snuck in this patch that the players have been begging for like a year and a half. One of the big things was the players hated the portal. So they removed the planetary travel system that they called the Director and replaced it with what is effectively a game mode list with playlists. And if you want to do anything other than the recommended playlists, it's kind of a pain in the ass to find it in the portal system. So they've gutted that out completely and brought back the Director. in its, traditional form. They've also redone the weapons for every single playlist so that they now match the highest levels of the game. They brought back Sparrow Racing League, which is a thing that players have been begging for since 2017. It's now just going to be a permanent part of the game. Like the only thing that they didn't do that players have been asking for really is bring back the vaulted content. Like that's kind of the only thing that they didn't do, and I'm guessing it was too far out of date at this point that they couldn't really bring it back within the time constraints.
There's
However,
the fact that they apparently, we know from legal cases, they don't have it in some cases.
Yeah. So it's wild how much effort they put into this last patch to kind of give the game a final send off, and I feel like there's a lot of devs that worked overtime to get here rather than this was the thing that the higher ups wanted. Because the state in which Destiny is going to be left is probably the best it's been in years, which is kind of a big statement. I will absolutely go back and play it once the patch goes in because, like, I'm curious, how everything feels now, and I absolutely want to be able to see Sparrow Racing League. It was one of my favorite events.
I wonder if a bunch of people just had a bunch of commits waiting that never got approved.
That's what it almost feels like, because like so much stuff is getting thrown into this. And they've completely redone the sandbox state of all the weapons. So like it's just so much stuff is in this one patch, and it's gonna potentially be wild, like to see what it is to play the game under this state. Because like had they done all this stuff, they might have clawed back some of the player base. Because like so many of these things are, topics that players have been begging for forever. So it's kind of, it's like bittersweet that like, Destiny finally got some of these updates, but also it's dead now. It's just sad. Like it's so sad. And the uncertain state of Bungie as a company now. So I mean, I would love to see Sony greenlit a Destiny 3, but I don't think that's going to happen because I don't think they have the appetite for spending anymore. At least not to the levels they were. 007 First Light.
Oh man, it's really good. Is your problem with stealth games that you don't get to just punch and shoot people sometimes? Do you want Hitman but with more story and more just direct action? Have I got a game for you? Like it's been obvious that with the later like Hitman updates, they've clearly been an audition for this game, but it's a very stealth sequence kind of thing in the sense that you have a lot of tools to solve a bunch of puzzles with. And honestly, sometimes that puzzle is punch a dude in the face. It works. It's got an incredibly clever, it's got a bunch of really clever, we have thought about the shortfalls of stealth action games and want to do something different. And one of those is definitely, something that people frequently don't like about stealth games is that you get all of these tools and then you don't want to use them. And Bond is like, no, use them. This part of the game, that part of the game is about stealth. This part of the game is about driving really fast. This part of the game is about a gunfight. This part of the game is about a fist fight, because that's a very James Bond thing. There's some incredible set pieces. One of my favorites so far is fighting a bunch of people on a plane in midair and hacking the flight control system so that you can control how the plane is pitching and yawing and rolling to make things fall on people. It doesn't do as much of the disguise stuff as Hitman does, but I think that kind of works. And what you get instead is a resource. There's a resource that you get for basically doing mission stuff and stealthy takedowns. And what that resource lets you do is like talk your way out of situations in that.
So it's almost like a cool meter or a bluff meter.
Yeah, basically you can hit bluff and you'll bluff somebody. You've also got the like all of the bond gadgets, and your bond gadgets are awesome. They're super powerful, but they burn through. There's a battery and a chemical resource, but you can refill those pretty readily in mission, which is really nice. But it's incredibly funny because as long as you can bluff people, and as long as you haven't killed anybody, you can still bluff people. And so there's some just hilarious notes and lines. I punched a guy out and 2 more people came into the room, but bluff had come up. So I hit bluff and Bond is like, we got to find out who did this. I just checked this guy's pulse twice.
Wow.
And then the other guys are like, yeah, you're right. Let's go find him. And you just walk out totally unscathed. It's so good. Just like the out of nowhere lines. Somebody's like, you're not supposed to be here. And he's like, actually, I am, for totally absurd reason. And the person's like, oh yeah, sure. It's genuinely, it's very funny.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
It's also doing an incredible amount of work to rehabilitate James Bond as a character in 2026. Because, like, GoldenEye, a movie from 1995, was made commentary about how Bond is a relic of the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't stop being true. And so this game is like...
I would say that sort of stopped being true.
It sort of stopped being true. I guess the
Daniel Craig movies really turned that around.
Yes, that's true. The Daniel Craig movies did
Pierce Brosnan did nothing to turn this around.
No, this is true. No, you're right. Daniel Craig did a lot of work there. And this continues that work. It is a new James Bond set in the modern day as a revitalization of the 00 program that had been shuttered previously. And it's really interesting. The way they use the cast and all of the different characters to really to make Bond make sense and like actually seem reasonable is very cool. Like the characterizations are all really well done. It's very good.
And I'm guessing based on it, is this by the Hitman folks?
Yeah, this is straight up the same team that's been doing Hitman for the last however long. So they know their thing, but it's such a different kind of game than Hitman, and I find that fascinating. Like it's very obviously using a lot of the same tools that they've refined over years and however 6 game releases or something, but they're using it to do very different things, and I think it works super well.
I mean, I think it has to be a very unique game because otherwise it should just be a DLC for Hitman.
Yeah. Like this would not make sense as a DLC for Hitman, and I think that's part of what makes it work. It's very cinematic. It's feels like you're playing a Bond movie, but you're playing like a modern Bond movie, and like yeah, it works really, really well. Like it feels modern. It feels different from similar games I have played, even if I can tell that some of the same DNA is in there. If it were an action movie, I would like if they just released this as a Bond movie, I think it would be quite good, but it's even more fun to play it. And Moneypenny is...
I mean, Moneypenny is always the highlight, I think.
Like Moneypenny and M are both so important to get right, and boy does this game nail both of them. And it's also just fun to see like this is young Bond as he becomes an agent and figures out like what it means to be an agent and who he's working for and with and so on. So like he's a little bit of a mess, but like that's the point.
I don't think you can be entirely normal and be Bond.
Yeah. There's a really funny sequence that I ran into that's like I'm trying to find a good example of how it feels like a modern Bond but still gets the character down. There's a point where you're like looking for a contact and there's a lady at the bar who fits the what description you have of your contact, and absolutely is not the person. But it leads into this whole sequence where this lady's boyfriend thinks you're hitting on her and gets mad at you about it and creates problems with you in mission, totally unrelated to anything else. And Bond is like, oh my God, I do not need this problem. And he's like tailing somebody, and she's like, I was pretty impressed. You handled my boyfriend pretty well. I think maybe she's like obviously flirting with Bond, and he's like, I am trying to do something here, but I don't want to make a scene. So it's like, meet me in the back in 20 minutes, like kind of to make this smooth. But then in World, 20 minutes later, you're in that place trying to do something, and she shows up and is like, hey, wait, what are you doing? It's just like, it's like this cascade of errors, and it works so well. It's very funny watching it all unfold. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing more of this game. It's fun and it's cathartic. Sometimes even for me, the like super all stealth all the time Hitman isn't always what I want to do, and it's very satisfying to like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk up and punch this guy. And they have a thing where you don't actually have a huge problem until an alarm is raised. So if you can like punch a guy out before the alarm is raised, you're okay. Situation contained.
Nice.
Maybe you just punch out everybody.
I mean, this is kind of reminding me of the Indiana Jones game.
Yes. It's really reminiscent of the Indiana Jones game, but like hits the Bond vibe in the same way that Indiana Jones hit the Indiana Jones vibe. But yeah, it's got a very similar kind of feel to it, and I love it.
So this is literally a topic that says all the games that came out this week.
I was just we've already talked about 2 of them. We'll talk about some more, but Tam and I were just looking at the list of games that came out just this week.
It's a little insane, actually.
It's nuts. There are more games that came out this week than I think are coming out in all of August.
I'm very much looking forward to some games coming out in June, but still. August is a dead time anyway.
What are you looking forward to coming out in June?
Voidling Bound comes out in June, and that's very important to me.
Okay.
Yeah, my list of June releases was like Voidling Bound and possibly that Aincrad game. And
I didn't actually realize that was coming out in June.
I think that's coming out in June. And I think was it Dawn of War 4? Or no, that's September.
That's later in the year.
Dawn of War 4 is September, yeah. But like okay, so we had 007 First Light and Zero Parades and Mina the Hollower and the new Yoshi game and the new Bluey game. Man, there are a lot of games that I had to care about this week that came out, and also a new Path of Exile Path of Exile II League.
That one's just kind of getting left in the dust for me.
And like
I think they've made enough changes to the game. I'm interested in coming to try it back, but now is not the time.
Yeah, I can understand why now is not the time. This is a terrible time. I should be playing more Mina the Hollower, which is also very fun. Or also Derelict Star, which I got recommended because apparently it filtered Jonathan Blow in the tutorial.
A stirring recommendation.
They put that as one of their pull quotes.
They have not actually put that as one of their pull quotes yet.
But I was just it's one of those things where looking at the rest of the year, things look a little bit dire. But boy, this is a crazy week for video games.
Happy summer vacation.
Happy summer vacation. I'm really gonna be curious to see what comes out of the Summer Games Fest as far as
we never know when the indie games are coming out until roughly a month before they come out.
Yeah. Plus, we haven't had a Nintendo Direct for first party games yet this year, so who knows what Nintendo has coming.
We know there's a date for Star Fox, which is in June.
There is a date. Star Fox is coming out in June. Also, the new Yoshi game came out, and I am at least somewhat curious about this game. It looks like a game that is maybe up my alley.
It's a new Yoshi game.
Yeah, it's a weird Yoshi game, though.
I hear it's a Yoshi game where you get to name a whole bunch of things.
Oh, I didn't realize you were naming things. I know it's a Yoshi game where you're like trying to uncover the underlying rules of the game.
Yoshi games Yoshi games, like, I either really like them or they're just not for me. And I can't tell what this one is.
It feels extremely unclear what any given Yoshi game is going to be like until it comes out,
Yeah.
because they're all so wildly different.
But yeah, I was just like, man, there's a lot of games coming out.
As far as things that are supposed to come out later in the year, the next Deltarune chapter at some point, Windblown's supposed to finish at some point. We don't have a date for Castlevania yet, but it's supposed to be this year.
I
And
mean,
I'm very
GTA
interested
6
in that.
is also supposed to be this year.
What is this?
GTA 6.
That has a date.
I am still saying it's supposed to be this year.
Fair.
It's had a few dates at this point.
Also
They,
fair.
they just announced that they're unionizing.
It might not come out this year.
I'm
Which
hoping
is
from
honestly probably for the best if the union thing goes well.
true. I'm hoping we get to find out somewhat soon when the next Fire Emblem game is coming out.
Yeah, that feels like we should know since it is announced, but we don't know.
Yeah, they've been handling this one kind of strange, but I guess, like I said, maybe hopefully we'll find out with the next direct or something.
They're also being really unclear about what even the game is, because it's clearly in the Three Houses universe,
Yeah.
but like after which ending?
Yep.
That game, like, narratively was so weird that after the time skip, I kind of got just completely thrown off.
Yeah, it is a weird game,
Like,
especially depending on which faction you are in.
I was the yellow faction with the cool goof off.
I think that's actually the one that has the clearest path through the time skip.
Well, I totally get it. It turns out one of your classmates was absolutely terrible, but it's like, it's so weird because, like, you beforehand the stakes were not really that high, and then after the time skip, everything goes, like, it feels like the stakes are suddenly way too high. Like, now you're killing all of these people you knew.
Maybe you should have recruited more of them.
Oh my goodness. There is definitely a limit to how much you can recruit.
Well, you can recruit a bunch. It's just how many you can feasibly raise up to take in a battle.
I mean, your first time through the game, you just don't have the stats to recruit everyone. You just don't.
True.
Other things coming out this year, an RPG from Game Freak that is not Pokemon is coming out this year. Beast of Reincarnation.
What?
I'm not going to call it a Souls-like, but come on. Anyway,
I'm just surprised they let Game Freak do anything else.
Game Freak has done several things that are not Pokemon. Like, they are technically an independent dev studio. Like, not the Pokemon company, Game Freak specifically.
That's fair.
Isn't there also a Pokemon game remake that nobody talks about coming out?
Not that I know of.
Pokemon Gale of Darkness?
Oh, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness?
Yes.
It's not even a remake, is it? Isn't it just coming until, wait, no, I guess it is a remake, huh?
Yeah.
I thought it was coming to Switch Online. Anyway, Gale of Darkness was the better of the two GameCube Pokemon games. So it sounds like they're both coming along at the same time.
The thing I was shocked to hear that is apparently coming out this year is an expansion to Witcher 3 that in theory bridges the gap between Witcher 3 and Witcher 4.
That one is so wild to me.
Yeah, like
right?
it's been so many years since any Witcher 3 expansions, but now we're getting one.
Also coming in later this year is Marvel Tokon in August. So that's something in August.
What is that?
It's the fighting game.
Ah.
Very Japanese fighting game.
Yeah, Marvel Heroes, but manga.
The style is pretty cool.
I'm sure there are other things for people who are not me coming out this year, but I'm unaware of them.
I was about to say, I could not remember because I saw there was another Concept game coming out. And I feel like that was a game you turned me on to. No?
I've never played any of those.
Okay.
Haven't?
I'm wondering who did.
I have played Concept. It's just not the kind of game I would be recommending to people.
Well, the only one we ever got was the one on the 360, right?
There was one on PlayStation.
I didn't think anything previously had gotten out of Japan. Apparently, the second game got out of Japan on PS2.
Yeah. Cold Step 2 got out on PS2. And I played, I think the original Cold Step made it to the PlayStation.
Mhm.
Or an upgrade of it or something.
I can believe that at some point between its original release and now it's become playable.
Yeah. Like the Sega Saturn version never came.
Yeah, but like half the games that came out on the Saturn never came out here.
Yeah.
It had the best version of D&D Tower of Doom and Shadows of Mysteria that ever existed, and it
Here we
never
go.
came out here.
So I played the PS2 Cold Sept, which was Cold Sept 2nd, but because it was the first one that came over here, it was called Cold Sept.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
In things that took a while to come over here, Trails in the Sky second chapter is coming out later this year, which is a remake of a PSP game. But first chapter was good. Second chapter will probably also be good. It's based on a story that is good. So
yeah, I've heard good things.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be lacking for game releases throughout this year. It just feels like everything showed up all at once right now.
It does feel like everything showed up all at once, and yes, I will probably be playing all of those things continuously.
I also think it's going to be a year for indie games for the most part.
Wikipedia tracks the number of games that have gotten a Metacritic score above 90 that release in a year. And at the end of May, there are 2 games. They both came out this month.
Oof.
Is one Mina?
One of them is Mina, and the other one is Forza Horizon 6.
Yep, that also came out this week.
That came out last week, but still.
I think there is a week period I could define that includes both Forza.
It does not. They came out 10 days apart.
Did they? Okay. It really was Thursday, like 3 things came out on Thursday.
Yes.
Or technically Friday.
I cannot believe Bond does not have a 90 Metacritic. Is it getting review bombed for some reason?
I have no idea. It also might just not have been added here yet.
I do need to play Forza Horizon.
But also,
No.
like some people who were looking forward for it to be more open, like Hitman, probably were disappointed in what we actually got.
It is an 87 right now.
So it's close. Definitely reviewing what I would call well.
Yeah, I mean, that was the impression I was getting. Oh, okay. No, it is getting it's too
I mean, well, yeah, but that doesn't matter as far as Metacritic goes.
it's fair. Oh, because it's doing official reviews for Metacritic.
Yeah.
That's probably.
But like PC Games, for example, gave it a 70. But PC Games has had their opinions mostly opposite of mine. So, whatever.
Yeah.
They wanted to be more like Hitman, like I was expecting.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I think it would be a markedly worse game if it were just Hitman with a skin. I'm with Bell that if it were just Hitman with a skin, it should be a
Just be a DLC.
Just be a DLC. That's World of Assassination is a great game. Like, don't get me wrong.
Speaking of that other game that hit 90, I've been playing a fair bit of Mina the Hollower.
Thank you, Ash, for moving us forward, because I was doing something.
How goes your hollowing?
I have died a lot, although I have yet to lose resources.
I have definitely lost resources to the first boss. The first major boss, let's say. The second boss. Because the bosses, you lose resources if you die twice, right? Like, there's no way to recover resources from bosses.
Initially, no. There is a
Oh.
cap to how many sparks they can take from you.
Okay.
And I think the cap in that case is 1, but you can't have more than 1 as far as I know when you get there.
What do you mean by sparks?
So you basically have these icons next to your health bar that are lives, as it were.
Okay.
And you can get more than 1. And when you die, you lose 1. If you died to an enemy, they keep it.
Yes.
If you died to platforming, it just sort of sits there.
Okay.
And if you only when you die when you have no sparks do you lose your resources.
Yes, but that means if you die 2 times to a single boss at the very beginning, you lose all of the resources you had.
Yes.
Which in which case are your bones,
Your bones, yeah.
which is your currency for leveling up.
Leveling up and shops and everything else.
It's your equivalent to souls.
Souls or runes or geo or what have you. I guess you don't use geo to level up.
It's very funny because initially, you know what it reminded me of?
Bloodborne?
It most reminded me of playing Zelda 2.
That has been commented on.
This game looks visually very similar to like Link's Awakening.
Yes.
and then you put
Does
your
not
hands
play
on a
like Link's Awakening.
yeah, and then you put your hands on a controller and like, whoa, I am not playing Link's Awakening, am I? I am playing a game that really defies a lot of comparison. Like, you could compare it to a Souls game, and I'm sure people are.
Absolutely, people are.
But like,
Most people have correctly identified that it's most not like Dark Souls.
it's okay, but you can even compare it to Bloodborne, and I would still be like, okay, but in Bloodborne, I press dodge and I dodge.
Yeah, you press jump and you jump. You can dodge with a jump.
Showcase. You can dodge some things with a jump.
Sometimes.
But like there is a like I get a whole bunch of iframes and a whole bunch of enhanced mobility, which is tunneling. But that requires you to jump and then land and tunnel.
Yes.
And like that's the most
very unique game feel thing.
It feels very good once you're getting used to it, but it means like I need to be about a quarter second faster on my recognition of when I need to be getting out, because I need to account for the fact that I am going to be in the air for about a quarter second before I'm underground into safety.
I've been playing with the hammer, a weapon that requires you to anticipate a bunch of things. So it hasn't been that much to get used to, I suppose.
I guess like I imagine that's probably okay because you have like especially popping out and getting a big hit is probably a pretty satisfying play.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, and that gives you time while you're underground. Like that's the thing I was noticing is like I use the time that I'm burrowing to both like get myself to safety, but also position myself for the next attack. And then I get a bunch of hits in, and then I start to get away.
The other thing the hammer gives you, which is really funny, is a real dodge roll.
That is really funny.
While you are charging your hammer, you can roll with very, very slight iframes. One tile. It's funny, it has saved me exactly 0 times, but it's very useful as an approach tool.
Yeah, I can see how you would use that to like try and get close enough to land that hit.
Yeah, it gets you one very fast tile of movement. So you can basically start charging from a safe distance, roll up, and then smash somebody.
It's really interesting because, like, I was honestly, like, I had not played the demo. I looked at this and I was expecting it to feel a lot like a Zelda game. And it mostly doesn't feel like that. Whereas their previous entry, Shovel Knight, looked like I was going to play NES style.
Mega Man?
No, I was going to say DuckTales.
That's fair.
And it exactly felt like that to me. Like, it felt like I am doing pogo attacking, and I love doing pogo attacking. Shovel Knight felt like what it promised it was going to be. Mina doesn't feel like what it promised it was going to be, but mostly I feel like those games don't have good combat, so I'm really impressed.
This game cares a lot about combat and platforming. And 2D top-down games that care about platforming are a rarity, and I think I've said previously, most of them are bad. I do not think Mina is bad.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, the little bit I've played of Mina, which I have defeated 2 bosses now, and gotten to the very generic please go save the world quest. I would say go ahead.
So there's gonna be a point where like that's the game I'm in the mood for. I played like 10 minutes of it and was like, this is really good and not what I want to play right now, but I want to come back to this. Definitely on my list.
Yeah, the game gives you a generic, hey, go take care of these things quest, and gives you a suggested direction, which is important because enemies in that direction are way less tough than enemies in the other directions.
I have still not unlocked my other initial weapons. Will I eventually do this?
If you've made it to the town and gotten your generic quest, they're at a shop in town.
Okay. Maybe I should try something other than 2 daggers. 2 daggers.
Also, for the same price as one of those weapons, you can buy a weapon upgrade for your 2 daggers.
Ooh, I do like weapon upgrades.
I admittedly do not know what the dagger upgrade is. The hammer upgrade is probably exactly what you think it would be. It's a longer charge that does more damage.
Esoteric Ebb.
So somebody recommended this to me because I was talking about Zero Parades and Disco Elysium.
Yep.
And it is definitely a inspired by game. But instead of like modern-ish day alternate universe, it's like fantasy world.
You're the cleric.
Yeah, you're the cleric.
Not a cleric. The cleric.
The cleric, yes. And like it's definitely weird. But it's got D&D stats, and your D&D stats are your like inner voices.
Excellent.
And it works pretty well. Haven't played a ton of it, still deciding how I feel about it. It didn't hook me as quickly as either Disco Elysium or Zero Parades, but there's definitely inspiration there, and it's like if you wanted to try that experience, but you didn't want the like settings of the previous ones.
Honestly, that's one of the things that draws me to it significantly.
Honestly, that was why I tried it and played it on here, because I figured that there might be some like, oh, this is actually a little bit more my speed, which is totally reasonable. And I think that it seemed pretty good. It's a little bit, it is very wordy in the same way that the other games, the games that it's inspired by are. It's using that wordiness to go a little bit harder into lore than into like philosophy. But it doesn't mean that it's not like a very philosophical political game. I did enjoy solving a problem by annoying a dwarf enough for him to hit me, at which point I could be like, man, you just struck an officer of the law. That's probably not a good idea. And they're like, oh god, we gotta get out of here. It wasn't great for my like ego, but it worked.
Your morality. So you are the cleric. Are you the cleric to a specific deity?
Unclear.
Like, is this its own world, or is it like a pre-existing world?
It's its own world. And there's definitely a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of like interesting character creation stuff. But I'm actually going with a character that I'm going more wizard and less cleric. Cleric might be a little bit more of a title here than occupation. But yeah, it's like, hey, you're trying to solve some problems, and you're good at some things and decidedly not good at other things. I've only put like 20 minutes into it, so I don't have a ton to say about it, but it was. I have played other games that are clearly trying to be clearly inspired by Disco Elysium at all, and this is definitely one of the better ones, because I feel like they don't always land. It's a very hard vibe to get right, and this one at least gets the vibe right.
Yeah, this one I heard about earlier in the year, and I heard fairly good things about it.
Yeah, it's also got a really, really cool art style. Like, it's like a of all things, it actually it feels like if you made a video game out of what is that like animated, it's like an animated YouTube thing that's got like, I don't know how to describe it, sarcastic D&D stuff.
Oh, with the dude that's hunting all the people?
I think so. Very deadpan.
It's like a really big barbarian type, and that's the main character, and that there's a bunch of other characters.
No, it's like a extremely normal dude.
Oh yeah, I'm drawing a blank then.
But it's just the art style. Like, it's doing a very different art style than other things, and it's actually it looks really cool, and it's a very like cell shaded kind of look.
Joel Haver does a thing where
Joel Haver.
Okay,
That's the vibe. That's kind of the vibe I get. Like, a little bit less dry and a little bit cleaner lines, but the vibe is sort of there.
He's making an entire movie in that style right now.
Wild. So
Path of Exile II had a release this week, which is one of the largest expansions they've ever done, it seems. We talked about it before, and they kind of just changed everything. I will say, so far, I really like the league mechanic, which is basically once per map you get some currency. Like, really? Like, there's a bunch of options that you have to craft currency, and all the crafting options end up buffing the mobs that you're going to have to fight. But, like, really, you're just choosing which of these crafting currencies you want.
Yeah. I really it's the runes of Alder. And so there's a whole bunch of new really powerful runes, which does make it funny that the new class that I've picked up has a specialization that punishes you for using runes. Like, maybe I won't pick that up, but it like the only reason I would pick it up is if I got a 4th ascendancy point, which does seem like a joke.
Like, the first 2 are actually pretty reasonable. The 3rd and 4th are kind of pains in the ass, and you need to determine which pain in the ass you want to deal with.
I was about to say, I am totally fine with getting the 3rd ascendancy point. I have never had a problem getting the 3rd ascendancy point. The 4th is a nightmare.
What do you do for the 3rd ascendancy? Because I usually do Trials of Chaos.
Nope, I can do Trials of Sakuma.
Yeah, I don't have the patience to do 3 floors of Trials of Suck My Ass.
I do have the patience to do 3 floors, especially because I'm pretty good at 3 floors, and I've never actually done 4 floors, and it just seems like a stressful nightmare. A long, stressful nightmare.
Yeah, I think they've made the boss less awful for Trial Floor or Floor 4. I have paid for my 4th ascendancy every time. I have just had someone carry me for the 4th one because I want it, but I don't want to have to deal with it.
So what I will say is I can do floor 3, and on one build, and I was able to get through it, and I was like mostly like full resources, and then I didn't even get to the boss. Like, floor 4 is I don't know if they fixed it, but it used to be such a ramp up in difficulty. And then it just made everything frustrating because like, oh, I have to do this tedium of floor 1 and 2 that really aren't threatening at all, but they are long, and I have to be careful so not to lose resource.
Right.
But then floor 4 just flattens you.
My core problem with both of these trial mechanics is they take for freaking ever. Like, doing Uber Lab doesn't take significantly more time than doing Basic Lab. It's the death by 1,000 cuts of having to do so much of the content in a single setting that kills me. Because, like, I can make it through one trial just fine. I can make it through a chaos just fine. It's the fact that you have to do the same thing over back to back to back to back to get your 4th. It's just maddening. I've had a weird experience. Like, so my key takeaway is I really don't like leveling in PoE 2, but I do like leveling in PoE 1. It feels like leveling just is way more involved.
Well, that's because the hardest part of the game is Act 1.
Yeah.
If Act 1 wasn't the hardest part of the game, how would people know that they weren't supposed to play this game because they're not good enough?
Oh, God. Yeah. It definitely feels that way because, like, I don't remember what boss it was. That was honestly everything until I got to Freythorn was pure hell. Because, like, core minions, like leveling as minion is a bad idea.
Any power. You don't have any tools to solve the problems being put out in front of you, and then like you get exponentially more and more tools to actually put together some sort of competent build, but it's not like the challenge ramps up commensurate to that.
No.
So like truly the worst part of the game is the very beginning, which is like I will just continue to rail on what a terrible decision that is. Like, you should cut
awful.
Every number in Act 1 in half.
This is mostly how I feel about honestly PoE 1 prior to what's her name, the Siren, is also just like the numbers aren't terrible the way they are in PoE 2, so it's like tolerable, but I don't find it fun.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree. This is also a problem in PoE 1.
Well, the thing is at some point they went through PoE 1 and made Act 1 harder. Like, that is a thing that happened in the past. They made it harder, I guess, so that there's a friction point that like you can get off the ride right away. I don't know.
No, that's not where your friction point should be.
No, it really isn't. Shouldn't be.
Because the problem is that's not when you know whether what you're doing works or not. Because you, in many cases, haven't even gotten to the thing you're trying to work towards.
Right. You've just opened a single pack of Magic the Gathering cards, but not played any matches yet, and assume they all work together. Like at that point, like that's really what Act 1 for PoE feels like, is like, I'm going to try and build a deck now.
I don't think I've died in all of Act 2. But I died like 10 times in Act 1.
I died a lot to early bosses because so they gave minions a 30% buff, but I don't know that it applies to bosses because bosses feel stupidly hard with minions.
It's also scales with level, so it doesn't apply at the start of the game.
Yeah, I guess. But like I had to switch back over to snipers because the only thing that was allowing me to burn through bosses was their poison cloud attack in addition to their normal attacks. I don't know. Like I'll be honest, like so I eventually get to a point where I enjoy this game. Once I have crested the mountain of bullshit that is building a character.
I have 3 companions right now. My character build is almost fully online. Here's my biggest thing. The most default basic attack should be a level 1 gem. And you know what isn't a level 1 gem? Ice Shot. The default ice bow attack.
That seems wild.
You know what level that is? It's a level 9 gem. You don't get those until Act 3.
That's the other problem that I have is like the tiering that they've decided for gems feels so bad compared to what we're used to in PoE.
PoE has some problems with this in that it gatekeeps almost all of the pretty good attacks until level 12.
Like, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Diablo 4, but Diablo 4 at least is like, how about we give you all of your builders first? And then how about we give you all of the abilities that consume what you built second? And like, we're gonna tier all of these abilities together based on kind of conceptually what they do. So you unlock like a build as you go down.
Right. And once you get your ult, you basically have your full kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so the problem is, like I said, I eventually get to a point where I enjoy this game, but I get so weary playing it. Like it's a mess to play through. Like it is.
I mean, yeah, this is definitely the like, I'm playing this game because there's something new that I thought looked neat, and I was like, I want to do that. And I understand enough about PoE 2 now to roughly understand how to make all of this stuff work. And also I have some magic combo shenanigans I want to see if they work out or not. I have questions about the layering of PoE 2.
So like one of the cool
Dangerous
things
questions.
is the Spirit Walker class appears to be a real class. Like they didn't pull the Spectre thing where 90% of them are awful, but here's 2 that you can use. But here's the wild thing is it's not just capturing a specific boss. There are also shiny Pokemon.
Yes, because you can have bosses with affixes and Tame Beast captures affixes.
Yep. So if you stack a bunch of affixes on your map and you fight that boss, you can capture a version of that boss with all of those extra affixes intact.
That's cool. Yes. So I will tell you that is definitely like a thing that is either my second or third ascendancy. Right now, I got bear and bear good. I got a big purple bear. That bear leaps forward and makes the entire screen purple and smashes stuff. It's good. And then I've also got a bunch of wolves, and I've got a tamed beast already. So I've already got 3 companions, which is more than I'm allowed to have, because the bear doesn't count apparently. And I also went into the thing that lets me have 2 companions and makes all of the reservations of my companions cheaper, but the reservation of all of my non-companions more expensive. But this does mean that I'm going to want to have like a ridiculously good tamed beast because I otherwise don't have, like, I don't have good ways to spend my spirit.
So apparently the two best beasts that are floating around right now are the monkey that slams the column.
I was about to say the hardcore ender.
Yeah, basically. the one that kills all the hardcore players.
Yeah.
He is real good.
He's an Act 3 boss. I was like, I can't wait to play it.
And you can apparently get close to 100% crit chance on him.
It was very funny.
And he also keeps up with you better than any of the other ones. So like that's apparently the clear beast. And the one that people are using for bossing is the bird from Trial of Chaos that spits on things.
Okay.
It's apparently just brutal against bosses.
I'm curious what people are doing, because I can't imagine my plan of I'm going to shoot people with a bow while having a backup talisman is the correct answer.
I think they're just using spear.
That's kind of what I figured.
They're going for as beefy of a spear as they can so that they can pick up that talent that is my companions inherit part of my damage from my main hand weapon.
Okay, so you've identified why I'm not going for spear. Because I'm pretty sure I can have a beefier bow than I can have a spear. Much beefier, actually. Because bows are two-handed. Spears are one-handed.
Spears are one-handed? I always thought spears were two-handed. I've not played a huntress of any form yet, so
I am playing this. This huntress has a very specific accent that I'm trying to place. If you heard me at the opening say I'm bent double already, that's her cry for if you try and pick something up while her inventory's full. And I've never heard that phrase in my life, so I don't know where this is, where I'm supposed to be placing this accent from. I'm guessing Welsh.
I mean, that region for certain.
But no, because the whole point of spear is you want to have a buckler, because you want to be using parry, which is interesting. I am playing with parry. I find using parry exceptionally effective and incredibly dull, because it is doing the thing where like I am holding down I am blocking button, and like I wait for somebody to hit me and then I get to counterattack. But this means I am in an ARPG waiting for the enemies to hit me, which is not necessarily what you want to be doing when you're trying to maximize clear speed.
Right. That seems like a bad idea.
It's like if a enemy is powerful, it gets you a frenzy charge. Frenzy charges are consumed for hilariously powerful effects. That's the other interesting thing, is that frenzy charges charges in this game don't have any inherent benefit. But if you are set up to build frenzy charges and use them on, say, explosive spears, you notice how much damage an empowered explosive spear does.
Honestly, I kind of like that they don't have inherent effects, because it creates weird incentives in PoE 1 to just have them and not use them for anything.
It's true. Like the Charged Minds builds I have. Charged Minds is overpowered.
I want full endurance stacks all the time, but I'm never going to do anything with them because I want the defensive bonus that they apply.
So if charges are supposed to be a thing that you build and use, which apparently is their design for them, then it makes sense for them to not have inherent effects.
Which they definitely don't in this game, unless you get a support, or a buff support that causes them to have inherent effects. But I'm not going to be having any of those because I need to spend all of my spirit on companions. It is interesting because, like, this build probably would love to have a couple of other minions, but there is no way to get any minion support as a spirit walker. It is literally the opposite side of the tree.
Right. Yeah, it's all in the witch area.
I mean, the witch and Templar area. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I would want on this build in the Templar area. I wish I could path through the middle of the screen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm basically pathing
for a reason
down the center of the two. Like that path directly between the Templar and the Witch. That's where I'm going down for minion stuff. It's like literally halfway between the two.
Yup, there's a lot of good minion stuff there. There are a ton of companion nodes now, though, so it's not like I'm lacking for companion support. Also, the closest thing to the like increases to minion damage applies to you. There's increases to companion damage applied to you in the Spirit Walker area.
Okay, that's funny.
It's in the node that's shaped like a wolf head.
They did a lot, honestly, a lot better theming of the tree in VOE2.
Yes, I do like the tree. I'm still a little weird that there's no masteries.
My problem with the tree is that it's an extremely watered down version of the PoE1 tree. Every value is worse.
Well, yeah, that's on purpose because you have more and better gems, theoretically.
You don't have better gems.
Theoretically.
You have more gems. Like I would say, like some of the nonsense that they do with like SRS, for example, it is a worse gem than it was in PoE1.
Yeah,
SRS
but
is intentionally worse, yes.
But so I am pretty happy with this system because it means I get to have multiple 6-link companions and then 6-link attack skills, and I'm pressing more than one button.
I think the best system would be halfway between the two, to where your gym links weren't in your gear, your gym links were on their own, but you could actually 6-link stuff. I don't know. It's not like I usually have more than one 6-link because the perfect Jeweler's Orbs are always rare as shit.
I will say they were not that rare last season. So I'm not sure. And I imagine they're not going to be that bad this season either. I feel like, if anything, they're continuing to increase the amount of currency you have.
Hilariously, it seems like people have switched to the Chaos standard for selling gear.
That's really funny. What? Why?
Because, like, Exalts drop like candy, so they're mostly
they're
useless.
Just too common?
Yeah, they're way too common. Like, I mean, I use Exalts as I get them while leveling because they're not holding on to at all. But like they drop like candy. So in theory, Chaos and Div are the currencies. Someone was trying to make Chance Orbs a currency, but I think that's just one of those weird listing projects where Chance Orbs were more expensive for some reason.
I feel like Sir Gog suggests this every so often, and I don't ever see it happening.
Chance Orbs as the default currency?
Yes.
In which game?
Both.
I don't think that makes sense for PoE 1. It might make sense for PoE 2.
I'm glad it's not going down that path because I've seen several Chaos Orbs, but I've not seen a single Chance Orb yet.
Did you see, have you seen that Mage Blood's in and what it is?
Yeah, that it gives you basically random flash effects from PoE 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like Sir Gog's concept of that is that it is now a div sync because people will be re-rolling it constantly.
It's a div sync, yeah. Oh, I agree with Sir Gog.
Oh, is it re-rollable? Not unlike the Shrine Belt?
Yeah, it's re-rollable.
Oh no.
So, but instead of like, your 4 potions apply, there are no potions.
Right.
But what if we had potions as affixes on this belt that you can re-roll?
Like, the Shrine Belt in PoE 1 has random shrines on it and can roll extremely good ones or extremely bad ones, but you can't div to switch.
Right.
No, you can div. Switch.
Oh.
So this is going to be the div sync. The game is honestly needed because what happens in a PoE2 economy is after the first week, the economy just starts to run away because people are acquiring currency faster than they can spend it.
May your Quicksilver luck be lucky.
I mean, I guess Quicksilver, Gold, Diamond would be the hotness since all the builds that seem to be farming shit care about crit. But you can apparently get up to 45% rarity or something on the gold belt. And you can get the same affix multiple times, which only improves the buff that you're getting off of it.
So there might be some zoom belts.
There might be some zoom belts. Yep. I don't know. I'm only at Act 3 right now. I'm getting towards the end of Act 3. I'll probably do my second trial tomorrow. I'll push into Act 4 tomorrow. I just want to get to the end game so that I can have fun.
I just want to get to the point that all of the abilities that I want to have access to, I can have access to, and I can see if this build works. Like, I imagine it will. I've also decided that I do like spears, and maybe I should try a more spear-dedicated character, or maybe just stick with spears on this character. But I really want to try bow, because I really like the idea of having access to, like, some of the werewolf talismans, specifically the Arctic Howl, which is a great way of freezing enemies and also buffing allies. And then also Pounce, which applies a mark that causes enemies to take more damage based on how many allies are around them. And so,
I mean, in theory, bows should be fine. You'd basically be a WoW hunter.
I'm a WoW hunter that occasionally turns into a werewolf to Pounce, which is also probably good for mobility. Sure, I'm a worgen, but you can totally have and then a whole bunch of other bow abilities to build up freeze fast, because Arctic Howl freezes anything that's primed for freeze, which also means that I can trigger, if I can figure out how to do this, if it works, I can trigger the lineage gem that says when you freeze with this skill, you and allies get percent damage as cold based on how much rage you have. The problem being, a bow doesn't have any ways of generating rage unless someone tells me I'm wrong. I believe the only way to generate rage is with melee attacks or a war cry with Raging Cry. So the question is, can I generate rage with Raging Cry and then have that count towards my Batir's Vengeance?
Probably not.
It's worth testing.
Absolutely.
Hopefully the tooltip
I
tells
think
me.
they closed the loop in PoE 2, because like you can absolutely have bow rage attacks in PoE 1.
Everything I know, like everything's really tight in this game. Like they've mostly like clamped down on the things they want to avoid. That said, Juices has already posted his first desired build, and it is hilarious. This is a PoE 1 player that likes to create builds that crash the server.
It will be interesting. I wonder if some of the lag we're experiencing is due to that.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I mean, it's only a lot of grenades. Like a lot of grenades.
A lot of grenades.
But honestly, the most impressive thing for me is that Yasu's found a use for Chronomancer.
Chronomancer got better this time. Like there were some significant updates to Chronomancer.
Apparently, it was correctly identified that the spells you actually want to be resetting the cooldown for mostly don't exist.
Apparently, this is funny though, because from his perspective, the changes to Chronomancer fixed some of the things that he was going to be exploiting.
I don't know. I'm sure we'll have more thoughts next week.
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the league. I'm enjoying a fresh start. I like Spirit Walker. Like, I'll be curious to see how you feel once you actually get the new thing from the league that you care about, which is the staff that gets you Crowstorm.
Yep. It'll be interesting. That is why I built minions in the first place, is so that I could transition into a build that utilizes that. Right now, minions feel weaker than the last time I played them, which is sad because they technically got buffed. But we'll see. I think it's a rough go until I get everything online. Maybe.
How have you been? Have you been keeping your gear loaded up with Verisium runic armor?
Yeah, runic ward is great. I like runic ward. It's basically like a last hit.
I appreciate reverse energy shield a lot.
It has saved my butt so many times.
So runic ward is basically a reverse energy shield. It is a pool of hit points that goes away last. And this is good for a lot of characters because a lot of characters have decent ways of keeping their health up, and it's a little bit harder to keep your energy shield up. So energy shield kind of gets stripped away and then really isn't acting as a big factor. Whereas runic ward, like, it is your last line of defense, and so it can save you from a lot of hits that would have otherwise killed you when you were at full life.
Well, and it seems not to deplete on the first hit. So like you can go to 0 and
I've gone.
still-
I've been one shot.
Okay, I've not encountered a one shot yet.
Oh, I've been one shot.
I've had it like a rapid 2-tap, but
I mean that I'm gonna say I was like, I'm full on health, and then I'm dead. And I'm like, guess I shouldn't have been standing in that.
it's definitely interesting. I'm curious. I just got the ability to craft on uniques, which ends up also changing their stats a little bit to potentially improve them. So I'm going to throw it on the one unique I'm using, which is the chest that gives you 100 spirit. That's usually something you can pick up like really cheap. So I picked it up. I picked up the best one I could for a single chaos.
Interesting. I will have to see if there is any you'll have to explain how you can craft on uniques.
Well,
Because
you put it in the Rune Forge, and it's just a thing now that you can do something to the. It's basically like a Val orb that doesn't corrupt the item.
Interesting.
It changes your item somehow, and it's like I think it's a fixed change per each unique. But I just got that ability, and I don't think I have enough Verisium right now to use it. Like I've been struggling to keep enough Verisium to keep my armor augmented, because it doesn't feel like my income is matching what it costs to like now put ward on items.
I mean, it depends on how much you're upgrading your equipment, I imagine.
I upgrade anytime an item drops that looks anywhere better, so I probably am upgrading a lot. Anyway, I'm sure we'll have more to talk about it next week.
Yep.
Couple really quick topics. Spider-Man Noir is really good. I highly suggest it. Mandalorian Grogu is really good. Highly suggest it. Any other quick topics?
The new season of Game Changer is starting to come out, and it's incredible. The first episode has come out, and it was quite fun.
Good. Well, I think that's a show. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we will see you again next week. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
See you.